Rob Marshall, welcome to Movies and Musicals. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I guess the biggest compliment I can pay you is that you got it right.
Oh, aren't you lovely?
I loved this film so much.
Thank you so much.
It feels so traditional and yet so new is what a lot of people are saying, but the casting was key. And I've heard you say that it's the most personal film you've made. Why so?
It is. Well, the message of the film is very much what I feel deeply in my heart, which is about approaching life with a sense of wonder. I think that's a very important thing. It's very easy to be jaded and cynical and sort of not see that and not approach life through a child's eyes. But it's so important to try and reignite that in your life if you can. And I love that she brings that kind of light into the darkness. This is a rather fragile time for people in the world, and certainly feels like we could use a lift and use a little light. And I certainly felt that way. It was my guiding force when I was making this film. And so that really is why it's personal to me.
It's an interesting point you make about the times we live in, because I have a really vivid memory of going to see Chicago when it came out and thinking this is a bit of a change in terms of musicals.
Yes.
Musicals are back. But look at it now. There are musicals everywhere. I'm wondering,
It's
do
lovely.
you feel that's Hollywood producers pushing it? Is it audiences needing it? Or as you say, is it socially we need musicals, literally?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, we set our film in the Depression era, and it was out of the Depression era in the 30s where really musicals came to life. And I think there's a reason, because we all need that, and it feels like the right time for film musicals. And I was very proud of the fact that, 16 years ago, that Chicago kind of opened the door for musicals again. People could accept people singing. But it's a very fragile, delicate genre. You know, you have to do it right, because when they don't work, they don't work. So you have to be very thoughtful of and careful how you make them.
It's so interesting as well that you took Lin Manuel Miranda from Broadway. I couldn't help thinking of the experience Julie Andrews had, where you know, she was in My Fair Lady but didn't get cast in the movie version of, then into Mary Poppins and winning an Oscar.
Yes.
So that was because she wasn't a movie star. That's why she didn't get it. But Broadway now counts, which is good.
Yes,
in terms of big names.
I mean, I loved that. Thank you for pointing that out, because I liked the legacy of that. You know, both Dick Van Dyke and Julie Andrews were really from the theater, and so I was excited to bring Lin Manuel from the theater into film and give him his first major film role, and I like that. I like that sort of history of that.
We have to mention the two Irish in there. We have Jim Norton and we have the voice of Chris O'Dowd.
Yes, I love them both so much. They're so extraordinary. Chris was so fun to work with on that animation character. You know, I'm Irish too, so I just felt, you know, he's just so funny and warm and wonderful. And Jim Norton is just an incredible actor and a beautiful spirit. I think you feel that in the film too. This cast is honestly an embarrassment of riches.
Couldn't work without good songs though, Rob, and boy,
Yes.
did you choose well with Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman. Over the last couple of weeks on the show, we've been just introducing songs here and there.
Oh, good.
And I find myself humming them immediately.
Wow, that's nice to hear.
They are catchy, but you can see, for example, with Little Light Fantastic, it's the step in time, it's the big number. I'd love to ask you about directing the ballads, the quieter numbers. For example, A Conversation with Ben Whishaw. Your approach to that?
Well, it's a very that's a very emotional song, as you know, of course, and it was very important to find a way to set up his dilemma, and A Conversation is a conversation he's having with his wife who has passed, which came from an idea when someone said to me, just because someone's gone doesn't mean you can't have to stop the conversation. You know, you can continue to talk to them. And he talks to her about his life and what it's been without her and how hard it is. But it's sort of a call and response, because we hear that, and then Mary Poppins comes out of the skies and helps heal this family.
A final question. It's not a spoiler to say that Mary Poppins comes and she goes again.
Yes.
Where is she gone, and will she come back?
Oh, she definitely comes back. I mean, I don't know if she'll come back in a film. Hope she will. But that's what she does. I love that about the character. It's so empathetic. You know, she delivers what she needs to the family that needs her, and then she goes and asks nothing in return. It's a beautiful show of empathy, I feel, and it's what's so great about the character. You know, you want her to come back. Don't go. Come back. I felt that way at the end of the first film, and I think people feel that way here too.
Well, congratulations, Rob Marshall, on a wonderful film. Thanks for joining us on the program.
That's very kind. Thank you for saying that.
Thank
Lovely
you.
to meet you
Lovely
too.
to meet you.
Thank you.